This video is about the plot cards. Right, plot cards are global modifiers that change the rule of the game. This is covered a little bit in the Kickstarter explainer video, but we're going to go into more detail and explain all the plots individually. There can be 2 plots in the game simultaneously. They double up for some pretty interesting effects. The way it'll go is somebody will play a plot card. I'll just put something down randomly. Then another player can put down a second plot. And now there are 2 plots. There can't be any more. So the next person who wants to play a plot can replace either of these 2 plot cards, whichever one he wants. And that is the only way to get rid of a plot. To get up to 2 and then replace one plot with another plot. Or, alternately, the other way is to play a Normal Monday card. Normal Monday card removes all the plots from the game. One at a time. Participation Award. When the Participation Award plot card is in play, only level 1 NPC followers can be played, which is very annoying. People hate this very much. But if you are not in a position to get ahead, like group-wise, then this is what you want to do. You want to throttle everybody else. Summer of Love. Summer of Love disables all job cards. While this is in play, job cards do nothing. Some of these plots are not terribly strong, but when you pair them together with something else, then they become very strong and very interesting. This is one of those. And he also has a special effect on one of the characters, which I will get into at a later date. What the heck, let's do it now. Race to the Bottom. There's more of this plot card than any other plot card. Reason being, it kind of alters the flow of play. Let me get out a coalition so I can show you. Let's give you some people. Under normal game rules, if you get microaggressed by a microaggression card, then the microaggression, it just kind of sits on top there, right? And you get to remove it at a later date. During Race to the Bottom, every time you do this, it destroys. Every attack to microaggress destroys the card. You move both this and that to the discard pile, or the dumpster, as we call it. There's not much to check coalition growth during the default mode of the game, and so the coalition will gradually get bigger. When Race to the Bottom is in play, it's not uncommon for everybody to end up at 0. And this combines well with at least 2 characters' special power for some rather interesting effects, which we'll get to when we cover characters. Got to do characters last, because they change everything. Race to the Bottom. Rather terrifying. Patriarchal Oppression? Well, patriarchal oppression is in play. There can be no microaggression attacks. You cannot do it. Everybody can grow peacefully. Plot cards and special cards are obviously still allowed, but microaggressions are not. Paper Hearts. Boom. Paper Hearts is another one of those that doesn't do a lot by itself, but combined with other plot cards is rather powerful. This disables safe spaces. Safe spaces do nothing. You have no protection. Thermidorian reaction, as the name implies, makes it so you are only able to attack the leader with microaggressions. Leader in terms of points on the board, modified by however many microaggressions he has played against him. So if I have a coalition of 15, for example, but half of it is covered up by microaggressions, I might have a showing point total just like 6. Right, so my score would be 6, and somebody else who has a total coalition of 10, they would be the leader. So you would only attack them. And you would attack them to the point that they stop being the leader, and then the next highest person in terms of total points, then they would become the leader. You can only attack them, etc., etc. In the case that 2 players have the same point total, both are considered the leader for purposes of this particular plot. Next up, these 2 more gender cards. Mansplaining and S.C.U.M. These 2 basically the same thing. When S.C.U.M is in play, only females are allowed to coalition build. When mansplaining is in play, only males are allowed to coalition build. And obviously these 2 cannot be in play at the same time. One must replace the other. For obvious reasons, because it would make no sense. Flower Power is an interesting one. In Flower Power, virtue signal cards may ignore alignment. So ordinarily, if you have a green microaggression card played against you, you must also have a green virtue signal card to remove it. While this is in play, you can use any virtue signal card to remove any microaggression. It will clear the board rather rapidly, because that quadruples the chance that you're able to remove one of your microaggression cards. Vicious Cycle is also a very interesting one. When Vicious Cycle is in play, anybody holding a microaggression card must play it. They have to play it. Obviously, under normal circumstances, they have to follow alignment, right? So if you have a a green microaggression card, you have to find somebody with a green NPC that you can attack. If they don't have one, and you do, you must attack yourself. And you do that until you're out of microaggression cards. Again, this pairs very interestingly with one particular character, which I'll get to when we do characters. There you go. That's all the plot cards. So, really interesting combinations. Vicious Cycle and Race to the Bottom. Force you to play your microaggression. Every microaggression destroys. Sometimes you might end up destroying yourself because this will compel you to do it. Race to the Bottom and Paper Hearts is also a good combo. What else? The two hippie cards. Flower Power and Summer of Love. Peaceful Growth. That's it for plots.